students. Today we are going to learn about the introduction to nanotechnology, nanoscience and nanomaterials. So what is the nanoscience and nanotechnology? With the prefix the nano means it refers to it is a Greek word and it means for a draft or it may be the something very small thing. It is actually it is for the spect 1,000 millionth of the meter. So it means 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. Nanotechnology is a science, engineering and a technology conducted at the nanoscale, which is about 1 to 100 nanometers. We are going to see about the definitions following. So the definitions for the nanoscience is, it is a science study of the phenomena and manipulation of materials at atomic, molecular and macromolecular scales. So where the properties they are differ significant macromolecular scales as well as they are significantly from those larger scale. The definition for the nanotechnology. So it can be defined as the design, characterization, production and application of structures, devices and systems by controlling shape and size at the nanometer scale. Nanomaterial definition. So it could be defined as those materials which have structured components with size less than 100 nanometer at least in the dimension. The nanoscience and the nanotechnology are the study and applications of extremely small things, and it can be used across all the other science fields such as chemistry, biology, physics, material science and engineering. So what is the fundamental concept for the nanoscience and nanotechnology? So we are hard to imagine how they are very small things. So just how small nanotechnology is, we can compare to see this. So 1 nanometer is the billionth of a meter, or it may be defined as the 10 to the power of minus 9 of a meter. Here for a few illustrative examples. So there are 25,400,000 nanometer in an inch for an inch. For in the thick of the newspaper, it can be measured for the nanometer in 100,000. And for a comparative scale, if a marble where the nanometer, it can be 1 meter would be the size of the earth. So these are the other common examples that comparison the size of the nanomaterials. Okay, how it is started? So the idea and the concept behind the nanoscience and the nanotechnology starts with the talk. It is entitled by There is a Plenty of Room at the Bottom by physicist Richard Feynman. So he was talked at the American Physical Society meeting at California Institute of Technology on December 29, 1959, long before the term nanotechnology was used. So in this speech he was described a process in which a scientist would be able to manipulate and control individual atoms and molecules. So he was known as the physicist Richard Feynman, the father of the nanotechnology. Okay, what is the history for it? So in the beginning, without our knowledge, our ancestors they are used. So in the year 500 to 1400 year, they are used as the stained glasses. In 800 to 1600 years, they are used in the potteries. In 1200 to 1700, they are used in the damsel steel swords. And in 1910, the particles they are described, they are known as the nanometers. In 1959, Feynman's speech was happened. So this is the principle of the physics as far as I can see. Do not speak against the possibility of maneuvering things atom by atom. Then, in 1940, through the technology, so the nanotechnology term was coined by Taniguchi, and in 1981 the first atom was seen by the Binning and Roger. So for that activity they get the Nobel Prize in 1986 through. Now it can be the nanotechnology it can be fully occupied all the field of our world. So why the nanotechnology is very interesting? So what's interesting about the nanoscale? So at the nanoscale, strange things happens to materials so that properties can be changed. For an example, the reactivity. As the particles get smaller, they tend to react differently with the environment than larger particles. Size. The smaller particles can have different optical properties. Their color change because the different size of the particles reflect and absorb the light differently. And magnetism. Smaller particles can have different magnetic properties than larger. Okay, the potential impact of the nanotechnology. Of course, they are having a lot of the potentials. So here I have to refer this just for the described one. In the detailed manner we will learn in the next video. So the health, so it can be used for the diagnosis, cancer, treatment and targeted drug delivery. In material, the sports industry, cosmetics, clothes and a space elevator. In technology, faster processing, morphing computers and smaller, more powerful mobile devices. In environment, for the impact, they have to use for the cleaner energy, better energy storage and treatment of water. Whatever the good things, it may be also having the some of the risk factors though. So first we have to issue for the health issue. So the nanoparticles could be inhaled or swallowed, absorbed through the skin because they are based on the size it will be very small. So or it deliberately injected into it. So it may be trigger our inflammation or it may be weaken to our immune system. Or it may be interfere with our mechanisms of regulatory mechanisms of enzymes and proteins. It may happen. In environmental issues, nanoparticles could accumulate in the soil, water, plants, traditional filters are too big to catch them. And the new risk assessment methods are needed too, because the national and the international agencies are beginning to study the risk. Result will be lead to the new regulations though. So in the nanotechnology, it is an emerging interdisciplinary science. It's involved in the physics, chemistry, biology, engineering, material science, computer science though. Why we are learn the nanotechnology. So as we study phenomena at the scale, we learn more about the nature of matter, development new theories, discovered new questions and answers in many areas, including healthcare, energy and technology. Figure out how to make new products and technologies that can improve people's lives. So the quantum mechanisms meet the classical mechanisms, interesting new structures, interesting materials with nanoparticles embedded. So in we will continue in the next video. Thank you.